Yeah, so I knew immediately something was wrong. I didn't really know what the extent of the damage was. They tobogganed me down to the bottom of the mountain after getting ski patrol. We got in the
Mhm.
ambulance, went to the hospital. They
Hi everyone, El Ballard is here today on the Women of the World Network Choreograph Success podcast with my beautiful guest Shelby Perry. Hi Shelby, welcome.
Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, welcome, welcome. I'm looking forward to this conversation. Thank you for taking the time this busy weekend.
Of course, thank
Um,
you for having me on.
So, quick introduction for Shelby. Shelby Perry is right now based in San Diego, and she lost her right eye in a snowboarding accident. And after receiving treatment, she found herself lost trying to navigate everyday life with a disability. She became determined to help others in her same situation. Eyehesive has created a community that supports, connects, and provides inclusive products to individuals with eye loss all over the world. Amazing. Welcome again, Shelby. And of course, such a powerful story. Before we even start, tell us about your love for snowboarding. When did you start?
Yeah, I grew up actually in Salt Lake City, Utah. So I've been out in San Diego 6 years. But prior to that, my whole family, my parents, are kind of ski bums. We've been on skis. I was on skis first since like the time that I could walk. And even actually before that, like there's pictures of me like on my dad's back or my parents like holding me while they're like
Oh.
cross country skiing. And so we're just very big like mountain people, and like the winter sport of
Mm.
like skiing was huge. And then when I was about 6 years old, I started snowboarding because my older brother started snowboarding, and I was just like, that's the coolest thing ever. And so I had to do everything he did, and so I switched to snowboarding, and I've been on a snowboard ever since. So I snowboarded, all through high school, my young, early
Wow.
20s. I used to go on like ski and snowboard trips. Like I've done it all, like with
That's
all of my
awesome.
friends. Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Tell us how this all evolved then. I know you have a community that you're building, which is amazing and so powerful. Just wherever you want to start
Yeah,
from.
yeah. So I moved
Uh,
out to San Diego and during the pandemic, and about 10 months after I had moved out here, it was like February of 2021. At that point,
mhm.
I met a group of friends here and they wanted to go snowboarding. And I was like, well, if we're going to do it, we got to go to Utah, And so we all flew out there. We had a ski weekend out there. We had just gotten a bunch of like fresh snow. So it was like literally one of the better weekends that I've like probably ever had. We had like so much fun. And just, we're riding all day, every day. And on the last day, before we were actually going to like fly home later that evening, we were taking one more run and it's always on the last run. And I'm even superstitious about calling last run, but we're on the last run. And I caught like a toe edge on my snowboard, which then pushed me into a tree, and the tree branch, I had these magnetic lenses on my goggles, and the lenses popped off like as I brushed up against the
Oh,
tree, and then the branch at the same time got my right eye. So
oh
it
my
happened.
God.
I knew immediately, like, obviously something was really
So
wrong.
branch of the tree hit your eye just right inside you. Oh,
Mhm.
wow. And even you were wearing the glasses
Yeah.
still, but
Yeah.
because of you hit the oh
Yeah.
wow.
And now I, share on social media to be really cautious with that specific style of, ski and snowboard goggles, because now they have like safety features with locks or clips, but they didn't. And the kind that I had, and
Mm.
they still have, ones on the market that don't have any safety features. And so just making sure if you're using those magnetic lenses for the goggles that they have a safety feature, a clip or stronger magnets or a lock. Yeah, so I knew immediately something was wrong. I didn't really know what the extent of the damage was. They tobogganed me down to the bottom of the mountain after getting ski patrol. We got in the
Mhm.
ambulance, went to the hospital. They did a surgery that night, and that's where they found, that extensive damage, pretty much a straight hole to the back of my orbital bone, where they were able to stitch it, but they
Wow.
couldn't get all the way to the back. They were hopeful, everyone was hopeful that like maybe it would restore vision or like a miracle would happen, pretty much. But 2 months later. So the injury happened on February 28th, 2021. And by April 29th of 2021, they removed the eye. So the decision was made like, there's no vision, there's no saving it. We're just going to remove your eye and you'll start with a prosthetic eye. And hearing those words, I was like, I didn't
Wow.
even know people lost eyes. I didn't know what a prosthetic eye was. I didn't even actually know people had eye injuries. So it all was like so new. And I was obviously like,
Wow, I'm
what does this mean?
sorry.
You know,
Yeah.
so I went to social media and started searching, people with one eye or prosthetic eyes. And luckily, I was finding these creators out there that were making videos about their eye. And it was comforting, to see other young people out there with one eye living life. I'm like, oh, okay, like if they can do it, then I can do it. Which is so amazing. But then I still felt like there was like a lack or a gap, in the of resources and certain things. Like there just wasn't any community spaces. There wasn't really any resources or information, or maybe I can
And this is 22, 21. Wait,
correct. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
recent.
Yeah.
I mean,
Five,
yeah.
5 years ago. So then that's kind of when I started, my own Instagram platform. I was sharing my story. I really felt like, maybe I could help someone with my story. I also really
Yeah.
wanted deeper connections with people, like to, feel supported by them. So I was like, maybe I can meet people, and so it was like kind of
Yeah.
this community started to form. And I actually had a blog at the very beginning. So I was blogging my story. I was sharing other people's stories. And I did that for a full year. And we all of a sudden had this like ginormous community in front of us. Which at
Yeah.
this point, we've ran four iConnect virtual conferences. We were just in Tulum, Mexico for a retreat, the one I already shared. In New
Amazing.
York tomorrow because we're having a meetup in New York in Times Square on Mondays. It is really, yeah.
Amazing. This coming Monday? This
Yeah, we leave tomorrow.
Wow, congratulations. Turning this all around. You are so powerful. I don't even know anything about it as well. I cannot imagine going through all of that, turning things around, and amazing. Thank you for just really being here and sharing your story. The name of the podcast is Choreograph Success,
Mm.
right? And the whole idea is we build success. Success has different meanings for each one of us, and we choreograph it the way we are, the way our journey in life is. What does it mean for you, this phrase, choreograph success?
Yeah, so just listening to you share a little bit deeper about that and then the
Please,
podcast
yeah.
name, it really started to get me to think like, yeah, because when we're thinking about like choreographing, like you're
Yeah.
actually like putting the pieces together and you're making the sequence or the flow or you're, choreographing. So it's like step by step and it's got beats and counts. So when I'm thinking about like
Yeah.
choreograph success, it's very much
Exactly.
you're in control. You're the one moving the pieces. Of course, things happen to us all of the time. We can't deny that, but we get to decide what we do with the things that happen to us, what we get to create out of those things. We can always look at things happening to us or for us. And I think what you're saying with choreographed success, if you're able to like everything that happens to you, you're able to see it as something that's happening for you, no matter how
Yeah.
big or how small or how hard or how easy or whatever it is. It's like every single thing is happening for you and not to you, and being able to like see that and then act upon it as well too. Because I'm a big believer like success comes from, showing up and taking action and putting ourselves out there. But at the end of the day, it's like, when I really think about success, it's happiness, and it's peace of
Yes.
mind. And I think that comes from taking the things that we've been through and like having power over them, owning them, sharing
Mm.
them, helping other people with them, being of service through our own experiences and our own story. And so,
Yeah,
yeah, I really
exactly.
like that choreographed success and that thought of like, you're creating this like, I always use this analogy of like a painting and like all of the puzzle pieces, but this is almost like the dance of your life,
Yeah,
and
yes.
like make all the moves and you get to like
That's
take
exactly it.
yeah,
Yeah.
now we're like, oh, I don't like that dance move, or I don't like that step, or let's try it like this, or let's do it like this, or add more pizzazz over here,
Yeah. Yeah.
I really like that.
And you did that. You turned things around for yourself. And yeah, yeah. And I truly believe that, and I agree that when things happen, and of course it's hard to see it in the moment. It's
Mhm.
hard to see that they're happening for us. But I do believe that as well. Yeah. So thank you for that reminder. You are amazing. And thank you for building the community for those who may be going through similar things. And speaking of, I want to talk about more about your community for those who are listening to us, maybe know someone who has gone through similar story or going through similar story. So you built a community, and please tell us more about Eyehesive as well. What is that? What that is, and
Yeah, so it started, like I said, social media platform, and it like really built to a community. And so we've done, like I said, the virtual conferences, we've had in-person experiences. I've ran memberships in the past where we were on, calls twice a month. I've
and
had,
who is it? Who is it for? Who has the
oh,
members?
yeah. It's everybody in this space has one eye. So they've even like either had an
Wow,
eye injury, like similar to mine at some point in their life. But we've had
beautiful.
people that have had eye injuries as children. So they've grown up with one eye. A lot of our members wear prosthetic eyes, but we have a lot of members that eye patch. We have a lot of members that still have
So
their
not completely blind, but with one eye,
Most of
or
them are either they're like blind in their
yeah.
one eye, but some of them still have some vision or distorted vision.
Okay,
So it's
okay.
a wide range, but it's like everything we do is like the one eye era, one eye gang. I have like the one eye era retreat, and
I
so
love it.
membership. We've got more people like one eye gang. So, but it's
Awesome.
an array. Whether they wear a prosthetic, an eye patch, they have limited vision in one eye, or they just have a blind, natural looking eye. But everybody in this space has one eye, and either like again, eye injury, eye cancer is a really big
Mm.
contributor to a lot of the members in our community, whether they had eye cancer as a child, that's called retinoblastoma, or
Oh,
eye cancer as an adult, or a tumor, an
wow.
ocular tumor. Like other infections and diseases can also create scenarios
Yeah,
where
makes
eye needs
sense.
to be
Yeah.
removed. There is actually a lot of reasons, but
Yeah, yeah,
someone can have an
yeah.
injury or have an eye
Mm.
removed, but those are kind of the
Wow.
more common ones.
Amazing. Thank you for building. How beautiful this community. Amazing. And how can people find this? How can people join?
Yeah, yeah. So if
Yeah.
you have one eye or know someone that has one eye, it's eyehesive. So like cohesive, but Eyehesive. So eyehesive. We're on Instagram, just eyehesive, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, all of the social medias that are just eyehesive. And then our website is eyehesive.com.
Amazing. We'll post links to this website as well in the comments of this video if you're watching a video or Spotify, listening on Spotify. But and next Monday, I want to move to a rapid fire questions section of our conversation.
I'm ready. Yes.
Okay. So my first question is morning or ritual that you do that you want to share with us?
So my morning rituals like kind of change. There's moments that I'm really heavy into
Uh-huh.
meditating or like journaling or reading or something. But right now, the one that I'm like really is like getting out of bed, kind of like try to jump out of bed. I put on some music, some more like hypey music. I make the bed, I wash my face, and I'm kind of like in this like more like energized, like bubbly, like
Yeah.
mood, like let's go, like some
I
positive
love it.
talk. Like I'm really in this ritual
Starting a day. Yeah,
starting
I
the day,
love it.
wash my face, making the bed, and just with a more like you got this, Shelby. Like
Mm,
that's
I
what
love it. Thank you for sharing. A place in the world that shaped you.
I would have to say San Diego, California, right here.
I love
Yeah,
it.
when I moved out here and just everything that's transpired over the last 6 years after moving here, and the reason I moved here and everything, it's just been like life changing in like the best way. And I've just met, my my partner, my future partner, you know, and we have a home here, and we've had a lot of like successes and a lot of hard times, but it's like really shaped us.
Beautiful. Yes, yes. I love that. Yes. I'm moving close soon, so I'd love to meet you. One word that describes the woman you are becoming.
Well, I have to say motherhood or mother. Yeah, we're having a baby in January, so thank
Congratulations.
you.
Oh my goodness. What a blessing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Amazing. That's one of the best answers I
Good.
heard. Music, movement, or stillness, or combination of those. What do you prefer?
I would say more movement.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are
definitely
you a dancer by any chance?
I'm not a dancer. No,
Uh-huh.
I
Just
teach yoga though. So I
yeah.
love like yoga. I love working out. I've
Yeah.
always just been more active and like on the go. And
Yeah.
even with my yoga, I've had to really train myself to do stillness and like grounding and meditation. Sometimes I joke, I'm like the worst yogi because it's like I do yoga, but I'm also like, let's go.
Yeah, those poses like for a long time. I know they're so
Yeah.
good for you, but yeah, it's like holding I can totally relate. And my final question is one non-negotiable for aligned success.
Hmm. One would be I think this the physical like aspect like you like I personally have to move my body every
Mm.
day and be physically active because it's like I know for a fact the moment I change my physical state it changes my
Mm.
mental state and I can't change my mental state without changing my physical state and so
Oh,
I think it's all comes down to like moving your body.
speaking my language.
Mm.
Love it. So agree. Thank you for playing. Absolutely. Well, in final, as we are closing here today, just one thing, one reminder, one truth that you want women all over the world to hear right now, whatever is landing for you, whatever it's called to that you want to share with us today.
Yeah, I think kind of my go-to messages that I always want women to hear is like, you know, I think I spend so much time, you know, trying to fit into boxes or be understood or to do things the right way. And I just feel like it kept me small and it kept me limited. And I had very low self belief and self esteem and I do believe that like we can change, you know, those things like who I am today. I'm like, oh my gosh, I do believe in myself so much. Like I put a lot of work behind that, but it's like I know that there's nothing I can't do and I can really like create the future that I desire and put myself first and really be out there and be wild and free. And, you know, and then another big thing that's really helped me with that is asking for help because I think also as women too, we get in these
Hmm.
places where it's like I can do it on my own or not asking for help or like that might mean weakness and it's like I feel like I've accelerated my success by asking other people for help or delegating or and that really started when I had my eye injury. I like had to ask for help and receive help
Yeah.
and I really like, hung
Yes.
on to that and even like with mentorship, you know, I have mentors
Yes.
going into mentorships. I you know, talk to people and I ask like their thoughts, you know, so it's just like asking for help. I think it can be a important reminder from a lot of us that it's okay to ask for help and receive help.
Isn't that so true? I don't know why it's I don't know why it's so hard, right? For yes, I can, yeah, yeah. I love both of those. Yeah, the box, the whole box, and how it's just really at the end of the day up to us. You mentioned with choreographed success how we
Mhm.
create out of any circumstance, how we look at it, and then we create things for us.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then if we staying in that box, it's really up to us, right? And receiving is so powerful. Yeah, even if it's just a word,
Mhm.
compliment
Yeah.
or
Yes. Yeah.
anything, or a thought that happens to
Mhm.
ourselves and with us. Thank you so much, Shelby. So nice to meet you. Thank you for everything you're doing
Thank
today. I'm looking forward to meeting. I'd love to meet you in person when I'm
you.
there.
Yeah.
Yes, and yeah, thank you for joining. Happy 4th.
Thank you. Happy 4th. Thanks for having me on.